Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. President Bola Tinubu has embarked on his 40th foreign trip since taking office in May 2023. His latest journey takes him to Japan and Brazil with a brief stopover in Dubai. The frequency of these travels has now become a flashpoint in Nigeria's political debate. Supporters frame them as part of a wider diplomatic strategy to strengthen trade, security, and Nigeria's global standing. Now, critics also argue the president is spending too much time abroad while Nigerians struggle with inflation, insecurity, and rising fuel costs. The opposition figures also say Tinubu has spent nearly a quarter of his presidency outside the country, about 181 days in over 2 years. They question both the timing and the value of repeated trips, especially with no clear record of deals translating into relief at home. Civil society groups also warn that the cost to taxpayers and demand more transparency on the outcomes of these engagements. Well, as the president's latest journey unfolds, the question remains, will this round of diplomacy deliver tangible benefits for Nigerians or deepen skepticism about governance priorities? Well, joining now is Dr. Olasunkade Azeez, pioneer Lagos State Coordinator of the Chartered Institute of Leadership and Governance USA Nigeria chapter, and founding member and chairman of the Board of Trustees, the Institute of Leadership Coaching and Strategy. Thank you so much for joining us today on the morning show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, this is a very pertinent issue because on one hand, we just saw that story from the NSA, basically talking about a major win within the Nigeria security apparatus. We've seen a lot of small wins here and there. However, these wins have not yet translated into, like I rightly said, tangible results for Nigerians. Do you think maybe we need to just be a little bit more patient, or do you think that really these trips are not yielding any results and perhaps should be cut down?
Okay, thank you very much. You will agree with me that there is an assumption of the president, that is President Bola Tinubu, dated back 2023. He has undertaken, as at the last count, 48th trip abroad to key countries like Africa, like Europe, like America, the Middle East, and Asia. This includes his visit to United States of America, United Kingdom, France, Germany, China, India, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Brazil, South Africa, and the Vatican. As you will agree with me, there are plots, there are criticism, there are critics, there are concerns expressed by the government itself, opposition, civil society organization, and the citizenry across the divide, as expected in a democratic dispensation like ours. As you rightly said, it's like a farmer that's actually planting a seed. It may take time for it to really, for gestation period and harvest. But the question is how long? How long will it take? And not only that, what are the diplomatic gains? What are the economic gains? What are the leadership role or regional recognition that Nigeria as a nation is actually deriving from what is happening? And the other concern by concerned Nigerians has to do with the timing, the situation here in Nigeria, in terms of inflation, in terms of insecurity, job not being available, and of course, disposable income of an average Nigerian in the states across Nigeria. I may say I think for us to really help ourselves and help the government, they say what get measured get done. There must be parameters we need to put in place. For any of these nations is visiting, government should also, he holds the responsibility, not as a president, but as a system, as a government, on what are those things they are bringing back in terms of economic value, in terms of political stability, in terms of security, and what have you. So we may, well, it's just 2 years in office, but I think 2 years is not a joke. We're supposed to be seeing the impact on our GDP, on our other economic indices. And of course, and all other parameters. Lo and behold, today is between Japan and Brazil.
With a stopover in Dubai.
It's okay, we stop over in Dubai, thank you very much. But yesterday we were told by the National Security Advisor that two powerful guys from Asaru who are affiliates to Al-Qaeda have been apprehended. Though government is not revolving around one person, it's an institution, and there are mechanisms on all those things that need to be delivered as guaranteed by Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. We may be patient, but however, opposition should talk to the government as they are doing. Civil society organizations should not relent in their effort. Elder statesmen should also talk to the power, talk to the president, talk to the leader, so that at the end of the day, they know for sure that they are going to be held accountable for whatever that actually happened while they are still holding forth in government.
All right, Dr. Azeez, thanks for setting the tone for the conversation. I know that the issue of a president traveling, you know, it's a global issue. You know, I recall the other time before Obama left office, you know, the number of times that he took for vacation was compared to that of his predecessor, you know, Bush, and then a few other people, even Reagan and the like. So everybody talks about it. But for us here, what is part of the reason why we're saying this is because of the issues that Nigerians are dealing with. That when you have a president who appears to be always traveling, people are saying, what about the issues at home? As of July, I think the president has done about 17 countries. If we had
across the globe.
Across the globe. But of course, you know, we did say, if that figure is actually correct, that it will be, this new trip will be his 40th, which means that there are countries, and we know a few of them, UK, France, you know, Dubai, that he has been to twice, thrice, within two years and a few months. In your own assessment, do you really think that the president is gallivanting? Are we able to trace at this point, you know, way into the halftime report of his first term? Are we able to trace anything? I'm asking this because when Buhari was there, in 8 years that he did, I recall the article by the Africa Report, he visited a total number of 43 countries. But then under his presidency, FDI dropped massively for Buhari. For Tinubu, who has spent more than 2 years, are we able to trace the sort of gains that his office and media office, you know, are talking about? That, oh, he's bringing investment, he's putting Nigeria on the map, he's engaging in diplomacy. Are we able to trace the gains of all these trips, or is just gallivanting about?
For me, though I'm not for government, and I must sincerely thank Arise actually for having this kind of program, and I know government are actually watching, concerned Nigerians are equally watching. You know, basically, I won't say it's galvanizing, because there are some parameters we actually look for or look towards. One, from the available records, we learned that direct foreign investment has actually risen up to $50 billion US. We were told that, and it was actually attributed towards him going around showcasing the effectiveness of his diplomatic efforts towards marketing Nigeria, towards telling the world where they need to actually come to Nigerian aid in terms of various sectors, including power sector, infrastructure, manufacturing, financial system, and what have you. The other aspect I actually need to look at is a global partnership. You all agree with me that no government can actually run alone. No government. You actually, in the international community, we need trade with other countries of the world. And in doing that, basically, they go a long way to help us. So him going there actually provides us with the opportunity, window of opportunity, for what I call global partnership with all these countries I've mentioned earlier on, the China of this world, Dubai of this world, now is in Japan with a stopover in UAE. It's not going there for holiday. It's not going there for Jamboree. It is expected that something will surely come out of this. Not only this, you will agree with me that the President has actually talked about climate diplomacy in terms of how we need to consistently rate Nigerian environmental concern, such as rising sea levels, climatic change on global platform, advocating the increase in accessing to climate finance across the globe. All this go a long way to really help the country. So I wouldn't say he is galvanizing. The only thing is government should also come out on what they have done, and each of their agreement they sign with foreign countries. Foreign minister and embassy or ambassador of each country should always give us a feedback or the follow-up and follow-through.
Yeah, but after more than 2 years, we have not appointed ambassadors under his watch. And
well,
we are talking of the gains of international diplomacy.
Well, that might be a vacuum on its own, but that does not mean that there's no embassy.
Yeah.
And they have people across, the trade section, we have his own, diplomatic section, economic, and what have you. All those go a long way. And I think it also be proper for us to appeal to the president that we need an ambassador so that they'll be able to collate and coordinate all what have been achieved in form of gain arising from his foreign trip.
All right, now looking at the actual trips, let's look at them for what they are. If we're analyzing what he's heading into Japan, he's heading in for TICAD 9. That's what he's heading into Japan for. I know there was the BRICS conference as well. He's heading into Brazil as well, where he will be part of, he will witness a couple of MOUs that are being signed at this time. Looking at the substance of what these trips are, do you see any possible, how do I put it? Do you see any tangible pathway or roadmap to direct success for Nigerians at any point in time?
Okay, I actually mentioned one earlier on, about 3 or 4. I talk about, if you recollect, I talk about what he has done in terms of attracting foreign investment to the system, to the country. Not only that, what he has actually been able to garner across the value chain of his foreign trip. So, I think.
So this foreign investment, could you expand on this? Exactly what sector do they tackle? Exactly what industry are they benefiting? That's what I'm trying to.
Lagos Calabar is part of it.
Okay.
We were told that they were tied to foreign trip. Mm-hmm. Then Kano to Kaduna, I guess. Kano to Abuja is also part of it.
So road infrastructure.
Road infrastructure.
Okay.
But those are loans.
Exactly.
They're not
direct investments. So if we still have to pay back this money, and again, if you think about it, a lot of our revenue at this time is already it's already sinking into debt servicing and salaries.
Okay.
We're still borrowing more that will still require our revenue to further service these debts. So that is not necessarily if you think about it, we're not necessarily growing from that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Can you actually borrow? Can a lender lend a borrower without trust, without relationship?
There are several reasons. For instance, if you're able to provide a guarantee for what you are borrowing, trust doesn't have to lie with you. It can lie with whatever it is you are using as a guarantee. For instance, I don't have to trust you, but if you have a property that can guarantee I will get my money back, I don't really care. I will give you that loan, and at the point in time where I'm meant to get my money back, that guarantee that you've given me will make sure I get my money back.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Well, but it does not end there. The trust is still very important, no matter what I have, or no matter the security or collateral I actually put in place. But in other words, I think what you said actually brought up another issue entirely. And I think government needs to be more business-like in what they are doing. How do I mean? Whatever they are actually, for each of the foreign trip, there must be cost-benefit analysis. Now in Japan, to stop over in the UAE, and then to also go to Brazil. Each of these parameter MOU elements need to actually be announced to the public, and at the end of the day, technical experts should be in each of this department to be able to let us know that on trip A, they're able to achieve this. And this is the Naira value, this is the US value. At the end of the day, we look at it in terms of GDP, are we going up, are we going down? And of course, all this go a long way to justify the economic reason for him actually moving around.
Yeah, but the justification that you spoke about, are we able to actually quantify it, compile the gains in terms of monetary values. If you compare what the president is doing, for example, with what just happened between Vladimir Putin of Russia and President Trump, just a few hours, but the whole world could see that, this is the direction. It is likely that there will be some gains in Ukraine. It is likely that the American president will visit, Russia soon. You can put a cost to that sort of achievement. But then in our own case, the Brazilian trip, for example, is a state visit. But then what are we expecting from Brazil? President was there a few weeks ago for BRICS. The Japanese case, what are the tangible
of gain
exactly
that is coming up?
In monetary terms? Are we actually able to say?
And the transparency.
For the this would be about the 18th or 19th country that he has visited. How many billions, or trillions, or millions of dollars do you think that this will have cost us? And then maybe just one or two deals that we will bring from there, can actually knock off.
And to strike a balance, how much are we getting from there?
That's the point.
So I can compare with Apple on the weight scale of. Well, I think I may not be able to actually answer much on this, since I don't represent government. But I think this program goes a long way to actually hold the government responsible and accountable. That, for each of these strips, we want to see the balance sheet, the debit side, the credit side. Where are we? Are we better off? Is there anything we did not do well when he went the other side and when he also is going to go? So that the feedback will go a long way on what he should keep doing, stop doing, improve doing, in subsequent trip. I agree with you. I think the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and their ministry have a lot to do.
They're always with him, on many of those streets.
I was going to also mention that because, like you said, the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and if you assess the different responsibilities of, Iwale Edun or a Minister Yusuf Tuga, for instance, he will always address a situation as it pertains to our policy, our foreign policy, our interaction with other countries, bilateral relations, trilateral relations as well. But again, it still goes back to the economy. We're dealing with the actual economy, and we're dealing with the trips and how they translate to tangible results for the economy. What would you say based on your assessment? I mean, you're not a government official, but I think that as an analyst, you can respond to this.
First of all,
what does Nigeria need, for instance? And based off of your response, do you think that these trips are addressing those needs?
So far, there is no empirical evidence to actually justify that. We need help in the area of infrastructure, we need help in the area of security, we need area in terms of economy, and what have you. I think the government planner should actually be able to help the president. That for each of these are the area we are going to. And by the time he goes in there, the MOU is signed, the element of agreement, he should also come back to see that I've done A, B, C, D. And of course, follow through at the other end to ensure that both countries, especially the visiting country, is actually justifying being visited with the state visits from time to time.
All right, Dr. Azeez, we really have to go, but before we let you go, are you looking forward to a time when the president will announce that he's actually spending his holiday somewhere in Nigeria? I believe that the last time we had something like that was under Yaradua, when he went to the Obudukatu ranch.
I wanted to mention that.
He told us the books that he will be reading. But of course, we have heard the president say that he will be having a working vacation in France, he will be going to Dubai, and things like that. Sorry?
The former president, late President Muhammadu Buhari used to talk about Daura a lot as well.
Absolutely. But then what happens to all the, all the nice areas that we have?
I hope so, that we, if they actually do the right thing here, upgrade the facility, recreational facility, what are they looking for there that is not here?
Tourism sites,
We are endowed. Natural resources.
Our own Camp David, when will we have that in Nigeria?
I do pray that, it will come a day. It might not be in Tinubu's time, that somebody will actually be Nigerian in thinking, in action, in policy, and what have you.
You said it might not be President Tinubu?
It might not be him.
So we are looking at another 6 years.
Even if he gets a second term?
Possibly.
Since you and I will not determine who go for second term. Let's get back to the policy, to the
Yes, we're saying even if he gets. Because that would mean 8 years.
Well, this is a medium. Very respectable medium. Obviously, it will actually be complicated for him.
Okay, Dr. Olasunkade Azeez, we want to thank you for joining us on the morning show today. Thanks for the insight that you brought into the issue.
Yes, sir.